It may be freezing cold in Germany, but the political temperature is definitely going high. Elections are to be held next month. The ruling Social Democrats announced German Chancellor Olaf Scholz as the party's candidate. But guess who is stirring up the air in Germany? Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Yes, you heard it right. But what exactly is Elon Musk doing in elections in Europe's largest economy? Hello and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya. Let's connect the dots of Elon Musk's alleged interference in Europe's politics. Elections in Germany are set to take place on the 23rd of February. And just weeks before the elections, see what Elon Musk writes on X, the social media platform he owns. It means say no to Scholz. So Musk is calling German people not to vote for Olaf Scholz.
That's interspace. Come here. Take over, Elon. Just take over.
Elon Musk played a significant role in Donald Trump's return to the White House. He spent at least $250 million on Trump's election campaign. Now he is set to co-lead the Department of Government Efficiency in the upcoming Trump administration. The tech billionaire now appears to be focusing on European politics. It is being alleged that he has endorsed far-right and anti-establishment parties. Musk live-streamed a chat with German far-right leader Alice Weidel on his social media platform X. He urged Germans to vote for the far-right Alternative for Germany, in short AfD. During the live stream, Weidel labeled Adolf Hitler as a communist. Listen to this.
When we talk about Hitler, on the idea of the National Socialist. He was a communist and he considered himself as a socialist.
And not just this, Musk also published an opinion piece in a German newspaper endorsing the AfD party. Following this, the newspaper's opinion editor, Eva Marie Kogel, resigned as a mark of protest. Remember the Christmas market attack in Germany last year, in which 5 people were killed and over 200 injured. After this incident, Elon Musk called German Chancellor Olaf Scholz an incompetent fool. Musk had said Scholz should immediately resign. Elon Musk's support for the AfD party has caused a lot of concern in Berlin. The AfD is considered an anti-immigration and anti-Islamic party. German security services designated it as a far-right extremist party. Because of this, other parties in Germany refused to work with the AfD, seeing it as a danger to democracy. French President Emmanuel Macron accused Elon Musk of intervening in elections.
10 years ago, who could have imagined it if he had been told that the owner of one of the largest social networks in the world would support a new international reactionary movement and intervene directly in elections, including in Germany? Who would have imagined it?
Musk was quick to react to Macron's comments. On social media platform X, he reposted Macron's comments and accused British Prime Minister Keir Starmer of criticizing US President-elect Donald Trump. Reports say Musk held private discussions with allies about removing Starmer from his position before the next general election and replacing the Labour Party government with a right-wing party. Musk has also targeted Starmer, accusing him of failing to prosecute grooming gangs in the UK. Let's understand what is the grooming gang scandal. There are thousands of cases of rape and sexual exploitation of white teenage girls from disadvantaged backgrounds by gangs of men, often from Pakistani origin. These crimes happened over several decades in towns across England. Now Elon Musk has targeted Starmer because he served as the Director of Public Prosecutions in the UK from 2008 to 2013. Starmer responded by saying that Musk is spreading lies and misinformation.
Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible, they're not interested in victims. They're interested in themselves.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez also joined Macron in criticizing Musk for allegedly interfering in European politics.
The international far right that we have been opposing in Spain for years, led in this case by the richest man on the planet, openly attacks our institutions, incites hatred, and openly supports the heirs of Nazism in Germany in the next elections to be held in the most important country in the European economy.
While Musk is facing severe criticism by liberals across Europe, guess who comes to his defense? Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Meloni said Musk's comments on European politics on X are not a threat to democracy. Meloni instead accused billionaire George Soros of political interference and labeled him a threat to democracy. Listen to what she said.
The problem would be, and is, when wealthy people use those resources to finance parties, associations, and politicians around the world to influence the political choices of nation states. Elon Musk does not do this. I'm not aware of Elon Musk financing parties, associations, or politicians around the world. This is done, for example, by George Soros.
Here's a brief detail about George Soros. George Soros is a Hungarian-American billionaire investor. He founded the Open Society Foundations or OSF to promote democracy and good governance. However, the OSF faces serious charges of political interference, promoting social unrest and funding political parties during elections. Meloni's support for Musk comes at a time when there are reports that Italy is negotiating a $1.6 billion deal with Musk's company SpaceX for secure telecommunication services. However, Meloni, though, has denied the media reports. Musk's social media platform X may face severe penalties if European Union investigators find that it manipulated its algorithm to influence voters. If found guilty, X could be fined up to 6% of its global revenue and potentially even be blocked across the EU's 27 member states. As Musk gets more involved in politics, the growing concern is that he might use X to help certain politicians win. For example, Musk might use X to make Alice Weidels' live stream more popular, giving her an unfair advantage in Germany's election. So what could be the motive behind Musk getting involved in European politics? Well, there could be several possible reasons. First, business interests. Musk has a significant investments in Europe, including Tesla's Gigafactory in Berlin. His political interventions could be aimed at creating a more favorable regulatory environment for his companies. Secondly, he may be trying to promote his libertarian ideology and anti-regulation views. Additionally, as one of the world's richest and most influential people, Musk might be seeking to expand his global power and influence. As the boundaries between tech, wealth, and politics blur, the question remains: is the very fabric of democracy being rewritten? The Los Angeles night sky. It's a dreadful sight. Spots of wildfires can be seen burning around Los Angeles County as a firefighting helicopter flies past. Here's a closer look at the raging wildfires. There is another aerial night view of the county showing efforts to contain the fire. Aerial bombardments of the wildfires with water and fire retardant being done to stem its eastward spread. During the day, one can see thick plumes of smoke sweeping across hills and burnt hillsides. Here's a helicopter view of California's Santa Monica Mountains wildfire. The pilot can be seen navigating through smoke billowing from the mountainside. Satellite imagery captured before and after the California wildfires reveals the extent of the devastation.
Come on, guys! We gotta go!
Since the first fire erupted on 7th January, the death toll has been rising. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated and thousands of structures have gone forever. Homes, schools, shops, businesses, and places of worship that had stood for decades are no longer there, all wiped out in minutes. This is the Palisades wildfire, the largest of the major fires ravaging Los Angeles County. It was the first to erupt and could soon be becoming the most destructive in state history. The others are Eaton Fire, that struck the northern part of Los Angeles, and Hearst Fire, which is located just north of San Fernando. The earlier Kenneth, Archer, Sunset, Lydia, Woodley, and Olivos fires have been contained. Homeless victims are inconsolable, brooding over the loss of their hearth and home. Many are overwhelmed by the scale of the destruction caused, and some are desperately trying to keep their homes out of harm's way.
thinking about where am I going to live? Because even if our building is standing, there's nothing nearby. The air quality is terrible. I feel for people who don't have the privilege like me to be okay and feel safe. And I mean, it's just one thing after another. They won't let us breathe. And yeah. And it's, 10 days into the year?
We need our governments to be more proactive about these wildfires. They're happening every single several times a year. There must be some things we can do to try to mitigate this, please.
It's just pretty devastating. This is pretty devastating. I don't think LA's seen anything like this before.
Firefighters are racing against the clock in their days-long battle against the wildfires, but gusting winds threaten to undo the progress they've made in fighting the flames.
These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in all of Los Angeles County very high.
The part I really wanted to convey on tonight's session is that this isn't over yet.
Los Angeles residents are scared that winds could whip up the flames.
We're absolutely terrified. We've left everything behind. We have no insurance. We stand to lose everything if the winds blow the fire back into Topanga and it burns the whole of Fernwood and Topanga down. So we're just praying and hoping that doesn't happen, but we're very scared.
Among the thousands of structures leveled by the wildfires are homes of several celebrities in the Pacific Palisades. Oscar-winning film stars Mel Gibson, Jeff Bridges, and Sir Anthony Hopkins lost their homes to the wildfires raging in the LA area. Paris Hilton, Billy Crystal, Adam Brody, and Milo Ventimiglia, the list is long. Hilton posted a video on social media of a Malibu home gutted beyond recognition. Her mid-century beach house, now in a shambles, was purchased in 2021 for over $8 million. It was the site where her son Phoenix took his first steps. Mandy Moore too shared videos of smoke-filled skies and destroyed buildings from her Altadena neighborhood. This is her Instagram post, grieving the loss of her children's school and favorite restaurants. Actor Cameron Matheson shared an Instagram video of his destroyed home, walking through the charred remains. Stars of the Hills, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag too lost their home to the fires. In this neighborhood, an average home lists for more than $3 million, so you can imagine the financial losses suffered just in this part of LA. Prominent local landmarks have been damaged too. Palisades Charter High School, that featured in Teen Wolf, Carrie and Freaky Friday, was damaged by the Palisades fire. Its classrooms, bungalows, tennis courts, and the school's baseball field were all gone.
30% of Palisades High Charter School was destroyed. We were on site and could not believe what we were witnessing.
The Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center, founded in the early 20th century, told congregants that its buildings were lost to the fire. The police arrested those suspected of looting in the evacuated areas and indulging in arson. A nighttime curfew was imposed in areas hit by the devastating fires.
This curfew will be strictly enforced and is being taken to enhance public safety, protect property, and prevent any burglaries or looting in the area that the residents have evacuated. The only people that will be allowed in these areas are disaster workers.
Economic costs of the wild blazes are steep. In fact, they could turn out to be the costliest in American history. As per a preliminary estimate, economic losses from the infernos are set to be staggering.
AccuWeather's preliminary estimate for total damage and economic loss from the fast-moving, wind-driven infernos in Southern California is $135 to $150 billion in total damage and economic loss, a truly staggering number, reflecting the scale of this horrible disaster across the Los Angeles metro area.
So was Los Angeles prepared for the wildfires? The simple answer is no. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is under fire. She is facing intense questions about the region's lack of preparedness, her leadership in the crisis, and water-related issues. She is also facing criticism for being out of the country when the wildfires broke out. And before the fires broke out, the city's fire chief had warned in a memo that budget cuts were hampering the department's ability to respond to emergencies. Kristen Crowley pressed that point in an interview where she said the city of Los Angeles, and by implication her boss, Mayor Karen Bass, had failed her and her department. She went on to describe the fire department as understaffed and underfunded, saying the situation is no longer sustainable. But California's Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom, has denied there were budget cuts. What's making matters worse on ground is a water crisis that is hindering relief efforts. There is anger over fire crews' hoses running dry. Newsom has called for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to hydrants and also into why the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed for maintenance and empty when the fire broke out. Charges of the city's poor preparedness and mishandling have fueled a political slugfest. Donald Trump pinned the blame on Newsom for the wildfires and called for his resignation. He blamed Newsom for refusing to sign a water restoration declaration that he said would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. Newsom hit back, saying fears that Trump could withhold federal relief funds were reasonable, and Trump was yet to return his call about wildfire response. Amid the blame game, US President Joe Biden announced the federal government would cover 100% of costs for the initial disaster response to the Los Angeles wildfires.
The winds have died down for the time. We expect they'll remain a threat until early next week. So we're going to keep working 24/7 to support state and local officials to fully stop these fires as soon as possible.
According to the White House, Biden approved a major disaster declaration allowing victims of the fire to immediately access funds and resources to start their recovery. Meanwhile, Newsom signed a broad executive order that aims to make it easier to rebuild after the fires. So what caused the fires? From power lines to old embers to arson, investigators, experts and amateurs are looking for what sparked the fires. The ATF's National Response Team, one of the nation's most renowned units for investigating mass disasters, is handling the Palisades fire. Other city, county and state agencies with fire investigation expertise are splitting the workload with the ATF, given the number of fires and the complexity of the work. Investigations into the cause of blazes as large and intense as these often take months, if not longer. For now, a combination of an exceptionally dry period with downtown Los Angeles receiving only 0.4 centimeters of rain since October, tinder dry vegetation, and powerful offshore gusts known as the Santa Ana winds are believed to have created ripe conditions for the wildfires. Experts say climate change is increasing the likelihood of such fires. US government research links climate change to larger and more severe wildfires in the western US. But authorities can't shrug off the blame. As per a 2022 audit by the state of California, state utilities are not doing enough to lessen the risk of wildfires. Amid the tragedy, such scenes are winning hearts. It is in times of great tragedy that the spirit of unity, compassion and resilience bounds communities. Volunteers are pouring out from everywhere. Large donations are in place and more are coming. Corporations are offering help of all kinds, from free rides by taxi hailing services to free emergency housing. Animal welfare organizations are active. Wild animals and pets are being relocated. While it will be a long road ahead to recovery for Los Angeles, it's important that all sections of society do some soul-searching and take corrective action. People can make more conscious choices to prevent wildfires, since most of them are man-made, and authorities must plan and implement those plans better to save lives and livelihoods and minimize the cost of such disasters. That's all in this edition of Connecting the Dots. We'll see you in the next episode with more raging issues. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us in the Delhi newsroom. This is Munmun Bhattacharya signing off. Take care and stay safe.